Hola, buenos días. Hoy es viernes 13 de febrero y bienvenidos a la Mañanera de KCDSA. Hello, good morning. Today is Friday the 13th of February and welcome to the Kansas City DSA's Mañanera. My name is Elias and I'm here to tell you basically, a little bit what's going on in the city of Kansas City and how that connects to the national picture. So let's get on with it. As I've mentioned before on these videos and around town talking, there's a lot going on right now with Leavenworth. For those who do not know, Leavenworth, Kansas its community, is fighting against CoreCivic, which is a multi-billion-dollar for-profit private prison corporation that wants to open a concentration camp in town. And the community is pretty opposed to this, right? And so on that note, this past Tuesday, they had a relatively large showing in protest at City Hall against CoreCivic during what was a city commission hearing to basically let the town know and its government that the community still does not welcome CoreCivic into its community. And when I say a solid showing out, I mean I'm talking about upwards of 200 people, which for me I think is a good protest in general, but especially for the town of Leavenworth, Kansas. Our friends over at Boots on the Ground helped to get some people out there and just to help organize with the local community there that's already protesting and has been pretty vocal against CoreCivic and their abuses, how they run their camps, how they abuse even their own employees, and how they treat the community that their facilities are based around. And I just want to say a huge shout out to Boots on the Ground as well, and that this coming Tuesday we hope to replicate the effort at 5 p.m. outside of Town Hall in Leavenworth, Kansas, and please show up. Join your locals and be there. Make your voice heard. In similar news, just yesterday, Platform Ventures KC, which is a billion-dollar real investment company in the area, made a dramatic pivot. They really turned coat here. Platform Ventures KC had struck a $80 million, or at least what was estimated to be an $80 million deal with the DHS for a 1 million square foot warehousing facility in South KC that would be yet another concentration camp facility for immigration detention. And what happened instead was a massive win for the Kansas City community. It was only made possible by the onslaught of local opposition and outrage. Like it's hard to describe, but like everyone got upset and got activated by this. And I just want to make a huge shout out yet again to our friends at AIR and Decarcerate KC in particular, although there's many other people involved in this and I do not want to make anyone feel left out. Because they really got people organized, they got people protesting Platform Venture KC and their owners, the Anderson brothers, and they really just made it known that nobody wanted a publicly subsidized warehousing development as an opportunity to profit off of the literal flesh and blood of our immigrant community, right? This only happened, right? This sudden turn from we struck a deal with DHS for $80 million and it's already a done deal, we can't do nothing to stop it. And all of a sudden it's, as of yesterday, gone into the ether. And the only reason this happened was because people fought back. To tie things up, I think, finally, in what is yet, I think, another small victory that we should talk about and look at is how Tom Homan, Trump's quote-unquote border czar, you can barely understand what that guy says half the time. Really, if you haven't seen him talk, look it up. It's not pretty. He suddenly announced that there is going to be an end to the occupation of Minneapolis. Now, let's be real here. ICE is still terrorizing every community that they previously occupied and then withdrew from. I am using air quotes here intentionally. LA and Chicago are the big ones, right? ICE is still there. ICE is still kidnapping members of the community. They're still doing bad things. They didn't disappear. It didn't come to an end. That's a lie, right? Realistically speaking, that is what's going to happen with Minneapolis, right? But that said, putting the incredulity aside, it still shows that these losers are not untouchable and that continued, consistent, and determined popular resistance makes their job miserable, and it makes it an endeavor that creates self-perpetuating backlash, right? Celebrate the wins, even when they're small. Victory often starts small, but it builds quickly into something bigger, and that's what we're seeing all across the country, right? We learn lessons from LA and we take them to Chicago. We learn lessons from Chicago and we take them to Minneapolis. And we learn lessons in Minneapolis and they've already been taken up all across the country, Kansas City included. Everyone's learning how to deal with these guys. And it's getting harder and harder for them to do their jobs. And so before I sign off, that's kind of where I want to leave things, is on that note. I'm begging you, like, get involved, right? You need to get involved. The protests at Leavenworth, Platform KC turning their tone around, right? And just collapsing that $80 million contract with DHS. And what is happening in Minneapolis. Like, all of these things are the result of the same struggle. And they're a struggle that has been built on everyday Americans finally waking up and getting involved. Americans like you. When I talk about this, I'm talking about you. The only reason why we're winning is because people like you finally decided to do something and organize with their neighbors, right? If you want to know how to get involved, a good place to start in Kansas City is through the Kansas City Community Defense link tree. Look at that. You'll figure out how to get trained, how to get plugged into the RR network, and other opportunities. Similarly, as a member of the Kansas City chapter of the DSA, we, as a chapter, are working every day to help organize our community through our educators and parents, through the Rapid Response Network, and contributing to that. By helping to document ICE activity in our neighborhoods, putting together a mutual aid network and charity events to help those most impacted by our fascist government. What matters, at the end of the day, no matter what, is you get involved and do something. In these moments of uncertainty, like, something beautiful is happening, right? Despite the fear, there is hope, right? People are learning to organize and speak out, not just on immigration, but on everyday issues that have brought us to this moment, right? Like, it's all interconnected. New leaders are being trained every day through the smallest acts of charity and community, and just by building relationships, right? There is only one way through this, right? And it is together in solidarity. And that solidarity starts with you. So until the next Mañanera, salud y Dios bendiga. We are going to win.